guys? Welcome back to the rebooted, bigger and better than ever I Test podcast. We are here with Preston, and sir, what is your name?
My name's Corbin, and
That's
we are
right.
back. Mm-hmm. Check out the setup. Mm-hmm. We got Scruffy the dog.
That's right.
That's what I'm calling him. I don't know if that's his name, but tell us in the comments what you think.
Yeah,
his
let's name this dog. That's our viewer challenge this week. We got fake plants, real lights, and a lot of fun coming up this week. We have to give a couple shout outs before we get started. First of all, shout out to Josiah. He's our sound guy. Josiah, laugh real quick. You're gonna hear that a lot because we're hilarious. We also have to give a shout out to our hype man Kev. Say something, hype man Kev.
What's up?
That's hype man Kev in the back. You know, we moved this from a 3-person production to a 4-person production.
That's right.
We're excited to be back. We got some football games to talk about.
We do. Week 1 just happened. A lot of stuff to talk about. So let's just get straight into it. I think we're gonna start with the obvious.
The biggest news. The biggest L.
A-Rod, that bad man.
He a bad man.
He had a bad injury.
He got a bad Achilles right now, let me tell you. Aaron Rodgers, played a solid 75 seconds with the New York Jets after a big trade this offseason, and he's done for the year. I mean, that's, you watch Hard Knocks, this team had so much hope, so much optimism going into the season, and you just see all of that kind of fade away. I can only imagine what Gary V is feeling right now.
Gary V and Greeny having a tough day.
Oh, gosh.
It just sucks for the Jets to put so much into it. Yeah. And take that big risk, and then he's done now for the year. But I talked to my sister about it, actually, which I was super surprised. She sent me on Instagram. She was like, "Hey, did you hear about this?" I was like, "Yeah, obviously, I heard about this." Shout out Kirsten. But she was like, "What? Like, what's gonna happen?" I was like, "Personally, I don't know. I think he sits out this year. Will he retire? I don't think so. No. He seemed way too excited to play this year, ready to go. And so for him to get hurt and then be like, nah, it's over. Yeah. Although I could definitely see him. I mean, he is 39, so next year he'll be 40, and I don't know what that's going to look like physically for him. But yeah. I think if he's physically able to play, especially since the Jets are still going to probably be good this year, he'll come back.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people saying he's 39. Now he's got to go through this 8 to 12 month rehab process, and you see people like Pat McAfee always talk about how much rehab sucks, and I can only imagine it really sucks. But when people retire, they retire to other businesses, family. Aaron Rodgers doesn't. Guys, and that sounds rude. I'm not saying it in a rude way, but Tom Brady's big thing was I have a family. My kids are getting older. Aaron Rodgers doesn't have a wife. He doesn't have kids. So really, it's just him and his crew. That's true. And his crew are all just other football people. Everyone's laughing at that. I didn't mean it in a funny way. That's just legitimate. When NFL players retire, they're like, man, I wish I was able to spend more time with my family. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers obviously doesn't have that wish. He could have. He could.
Yeah. What he's got is football, and he's excited to play. So we'll see him back next year in a Jets uniform.
Nobody wins from this.
Nobody wins.
The Jets lose because they lose a 4-time MVP quarterback. Aaron Rodgers loses because he doesn't get to prove to everyone that he still got it. And the Packers lose because they're getting a conditional first-round pick, but that required him to play 75% of their snaps. He can't do that now. So the Packers lose from this as well. And so this is just a bad situation for everyone. And no one wins from this.
Fans.
Besides the Bills and Dolphins and Patriots. Yeah. Only people that win from this.
Well, I mean, the Bills lost from it too. So I don't even want to talk about that right now.
Zach Wilson.
That's enough on Aaron Rodgers. I heard so much about it this morning. Yeah. I'm so tired of it.
He'll be back in a couple of weeks. Yeah. He'll take enough ayahuasca, probably go on a few darkness retreats. He'll be back.
Couple of weeks. Okay. We're going to get into our biggest surprises of the week. I don't know exactly. This could be anything. We don't have any conditions for this biggest surprise. So I'm going to start out with the LA Chargers losing to the Miami Dolphins, having
in the most wild game ever.
I'm looking at statistics right now. Austin Eckler had 117 yards on the ground.
That's weird.
And Josh Kelly had 91 yards on the ground.
Double weird.
Over 200 rushing yards between two running backs, and they lost the football game. I can't remember the last time that's happened.
No, because you think if they're running the ball that much, they're chewing out the clock.
For real. But I mean, Justin Herbert didn't have a bad game either.
No. Neither team did have a bad game.
Right.
But Tua just had a great game.
Yeah.
Threw for 500 yards.
Stephen A. said this morning, he said, If you want to beat the Dolphins, you have to score more than 30 points. And the Chargers scored more than 30 points and lost. So I don't know what that's about. But, I mean, that just speaks to the Dolphins. I mean, historic Week 1 performance.
It's absolutely crazy. I mean, Tyreek came out and said, I'm going to go for 2,000 yards this year. He's on pace for closer to 3,000 yards this year. I
think Tua, if he keeps it up, is like 7,000 some yards.
But it's
like, he's not going to keep it up, obviously. 466 is wild, but he did have a pick, too. Just want to say that.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you throw 4 touchdowns, it's all about 1 interception.
Almost every quarterback had a pick this week. A lot of quarterbacks had a pick this week.
Not Dak Prescott, man.
Dak Prescott did not have a pick. And it looks like Matthew Stafford also did not have a pick. Yeah. Another big surprise for me was the Rams' performance. Nobody was expecting
the Rams played competent football.
Yeah, it was wild.
Puka, I don't even know how to say his last name.
Puka Nacua.
Puka Nacua came out. I thought he was going to be good, 5th round guy out of BYU. I thought he was going to have a solid game. I did not see him taking Cooper Kupp's role.
Yeah, forget Cooper Kupp.
15 targets.
Yeah,
Trade him. Honestly.
And Tutu Atwell.
Bro. Speed demon.
They combined for over 230 yards or something.
Best wide receiver doing football, probably.
It's crazy.
Somewhere up there.
When was the last time you had 2 no-name wide receivers go for that much?
Whoa. When is Tutu Atwell a no-name receiver?
He's a no-name receiver.
That's wild.
On most teams, he's like wide receiver 4.
Oh, that's crazy. On the Rams, he's basically wide receiver 4. There's a couple good choices for surprises. I mean, you look at the world considered this a surprise. I didn't. Browns, Bengals, that could be viewed as a surprise. I think my surprise is going to be the AFC North going 1-3 this week. Just because
there's going to be one loss.
Such a weird game, or such a weird group of games. I mean, and the Texans look good in that game with the Ravens for a while. It was competitive. They looked fine. It was competitive. It was like a close game until midway through the third quarter, I believe.
Yeah, that's true.
And I mean, I'm not a Kenny Pickett guy. I wasn't confident in the Steelers. Did not think they were gonna get mollywopped 30-7.
Said mollywopped.
Like that was a game that I wasn't really watching, but I was keeping up with it, and boy, did I enjoy keeping up with it. Just watching Kenny Pickett crumble, and everyone's like, he did great in the preseason. I mean, I'd probably do good against the defenses Kenny Pickett was going against. I mean, it was crazy. It was preseason, and then I mean, the one that's least surprised me. Bengals lose to the Browns. I mean, what did we expect? It's Joe Burrow going up against the Browns at home. He's 1-5 against the Browns. I mean, I'll be surprised when Joe Burrow beats the Browns more than once in a season. Until that happens, I'm not going to be surprised. Joe Burrow held for less than 100 yards in the first time in his career. First time since he was at Ohio State. He went to another college and a football team since the last time this happened. It was a rainy game, but Deshaun was productive enough in those rainy conditions. So, I mean, just a weird couple games of football. It was a weird weekend of football.
We talked about that. It was like just a really weird way to start the season.
Yeah.
Week 1, a lot of teams underperformed, a lot of players underperformed. To name a few, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow.
Patrick Mahomes did not underperform.
Daniel Jones.
Patrick Mahomes did not underperform.
Yes, he did.
How?
To the standards of Patrick Mahomes.
That's not his fault. It's the wide receiver's fault. Statistically, you can say he underperformed.
Statistically underperformed.
That's fair.
And the Chiefs underperformed.
You know who did not underperform? Baker, Reagan, Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield did not underperform.
Baker Mayfield threw dots. He ran angry. And I'm not surprised. He's a top 5
Geno Smith, historically terrible. Week 1.
But he's also Geno's what's the bar for Geno Smith? Someone who wasn't good till just randomly one season. Are we expecting Geno to be good?
I expected Geno to come out just like he did last year.
Okay.
I mean something around it, but
that's just so. I'm so curious to see.
On Sunday, it was not looking like Geno Smith from last year. It was looking like the Geno Smith that didn't play football.
Yeah.
And sat on the bench.
It's hard to play football against Aaron Donald, though.
That is true.
That's my favorite clip. The mic'd up clip of him, oh my gosh, and he just throws the ball away.
Yeah.
It's a funny clip.
Yeah. Another surprise, I think, going under the radar is all three of the first round QBs took a L week 1.
Yeah.
Which is not super surprising considering the state of their team. I mean, the Panthers kind of expected to lose because they don't have a great team. Mm-hmm. The Texans kind of expected to lose going against the Ravens. Not the best team.
Didn't expect the Panthers to lose.
Really?
No. I mean, I wouldn't have said like they're for sure going to win, but I'm also not all in on the Falcons.
Really?
I'm not a Desmond Ridder guy.
That's fair.
I'm not a.
Although I will say this, Desmond Ridder had a great game.
He did well. 3 for 3 for negative 11 yards was a stat line that he.
That was a stat line, but also only missed 3 passes.
That's true.
I mean, 18 attempts, which is not a great sample size or anything.
And he did really good on that touchdown where he threw it behind the line of scrimmage.
It's true, man.
It's a fantastic touchdown play by Desmond Ridder.
Great. But they all, I mean, outside of, I think C.J. Stroud had a good game.
He was okay.
I wouldn't say it was a bad game.
Played okay.
Anthony Richardson played better than I expected him to play week 1.
100%.
And the Colts played better than I expected them to play week 1.
Against a good Jaguars team.
I'd say Bryce Young disappointed massively.
I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. If you set the bar high for a guy who's 5'9", he's just not going to be able to reach it.
He's short.
He is
short.
It's Bryce. It's not a great.
But to
Panthers
be the number 1
team.
pick against a Falcons defense that I would say is actually probably in the top half of the league as far as defenses go. I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of this year that they're considered a top 15 defense.
You know what you need to be a good defense? Edge rushers.
Lorenzo Carter.
If we're talking about
he's not great.
If we're talking about Lorenzo Carter being your best pass rusher, which I would say it's probably Arnold Ebiketie, that's still not a great place to be.
I don't think they're lacking too much in any area, and they have a really good secondary.
Jesse Bates is a good player. Richie Grant is a good player.
Richie Grant played really well.
I like Clark Phillips. He's a rookie this year, I believe, also a 5th round pick. I like Clark Phillips. I don't know if he played much this weekend, but I like his projection as a slot corner in the league.
Yeah.
So
I rate the Falcons defense higher than most people would. I think that's going to be a surprising.
Because he's a Falcons fan.
I am a Falcons fan.
For the returning viewers, he switched from the Giants to the Niners to the Falcons.
That is also true. But Falcons fan, and I do, obviously there might be a little bit of bias. It's
hard to not have bias.
I can't tell you that's not possible, but it's like, and at the same time, I also look at things very, very analytically. It's like,
so are you biased or not?
No.
If it's analytically, then just say you're not biased.
There's always a subconscious bias. Always.
Psychology.
But if you ask me about is Desmond Ridder a top 20 quarterback, no. I'm
top 25?
Probably not.
Top 28?
Yes.
Who are the 4 quarterbacks worse than Desmond Ridder?
Right now, I can't put Bryce Young above Desmond Ridder.
That's fair. If you didn't hear that, the tech guy Josiah said Aaron Rodgers, which is true. Desmond Ridder does have the ability to stand on his own 2 feet and take 3 steps forward.
He does have that ability.
He's a little more mobile in the pocket right now.
I'm better than Josh Dobbs.
Just kidding.
I'd take him over. What's his first name? Howell. Sam Howell.
What?
Played well.
Discount Baker Mayfield?
Played well. But I'd still take him over Justin Fields.
That one I don't agree with.
I think Justin Fields has way more potential.
You're looking at 2 guys who aren't that great at throwing the football, and then Justin Fields is just by far a better rusher.
I think Desmond Ridder has more potential. Like, is a better passer of the football than Justin Fields is. Like, I don't even think
just because he doesn't have epilepsy, that's kind of messed up.
That's not what I'm saying. Don't even say that.
You think that if he played the Seahawks in their color rush uniforms, that he would not be able to play that game? That is
Where is this coming from? I didn't even know that Justin Fields has epilepsy.
There was a knock on him coming out of the draft.
Really?
Yeah.
That's wild. That's actually crazy. I take Desmond Ridder over.
It's an interesting take.
I think he's on the
subconscious bias is becoming a little.
He's on the 28 range.
It's feeling
28, 29 range probably of starting quarterbacks in the league.
It was a surprising week, but there were also some really good performances, and I feel like if we're talking about best team performances, I feel like we're going to have the same one. The Dallas Cowboys, it just had to be them.
Yeah.
It can't not be them when they beat a team 40-0.
That's true.
0 points allowed. 40-0. The special team scored. The offense scored. The defense scored. Like, there wasn't a better all-around performance.
Yeah. Unfortunate, I would say. I am one of those people that just can't stand the Cowboys. I'm not high on the Cowboys, but I cannot deny that they have a great football team and they played a really great game.
Yeah, the only knock people have said is they're like, Dak didn't throw any touchdowns and he didn't put up a lot of yards. He didn't need to.
Yeah, it was a whitewash.
When you're up 26-0 after the first quarter, I'm just kind of gonna run the ball.
It was embarrassing, but I can't wait to watch. I want to see the Cowboys versus the Jets. I don't think we can judge the Cowboys off of week 1. I saw a lot of pundits, I saw a lot of analysts start talking about how the Cowboys have suddenly jumped to the best team in the NFC after they beat the Giants 40-0. They forgot about the 49ers, who beat a really good team. Not a really good team, a good team that underperformed. Okay. You forgot about the Packers, who demolished the Bears.
Whoa. We are not putting the Packers up there above the Cowboys.
I would put the Packers in a I think the Packers have the ability to beat any team in the NFC. Tell me who the Packers can't beat in the NFC.
The 49ers.
Okay. Can anybody beat the 49ers?
Yes.
In the NFC?
Yes.
Who?
The Cowboys.
No, they can't.
Yes. They could.
The Cowboys can't compete with the 49ers.
The Cowboy and I think the Eagles could as well.
Okay, the Eagles. That's fair.
I think the Cowboys and the Eagles. Cowboys, Eagles, Niners are my 3 teams in the NFC.
Okay, but if
and then also the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because they have Baker Mayfield.
Shut up. If you can only tell me 3 teams in the NFC that can beat the Packers convincingly, then I don't see why you can.
I think there's more teams in the NFC.
Who beat the Packers?
I think the Lions would beat the Packers.
Convincingly?
Yes.
Like you have full confidence that the Lions would beat the Packers?
Yes.
I don't.
Better quarterback. Better offensive line. Better running game. I won't say better running backs, but they have a better running game. They're more physically dominant at the line of scrimmage. I think the Eagles play better football than the Packers do. I don't know if you go position for position, the Eagles or the Lions will be better, but that's their position. They're not better than the Chiefs. They've just bought into the Dan Campbell mentality.
And
I think the Vikings could beat the Packers not relatively easily.
No.
But I think 100%.
Don't even talk to me about the Vikings.
100%.
The Vikings just lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and you're going to tell me that they're going to compete with the Packers.
That's not their fault that they played Baker freaking Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield is worse than Jordan Love.
What?
He had a worse game.
We've seen Jordan Love play one good game of football.
I can't remember the last time I saw Baker Mayfield play one good game of football.
The same day you saw Jordan Love do it.
But Jordan Love did it better. Did he not?
That's wild.
Did he not have a better game than Baker Mayfield?
I would say if you look at the teams he played, Baker played better.
No, the Vikings have a terrible defense.
Listen, what you have to understand is the Packers are playing in a world where they smacked the Bears every single time they played them.
With Aaron Rodgers.
It's the same reason with Brett Favre too. That's the
exactly 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks, and we're talking about Jordan Love, who just put up 38 points.
If you want to say based off one game of Jordan Love, you know who else has had one good game? Drew Lock. Drew Lock has had one good game.
You know who's played for the Buccaneers one time and had a good game? Baker Mayfield.
He's shooting at 100% right now. Jordan Love.
So is Jordan Love.
Jordan Love is not shooting at 100%. Look at him play against the Chiefs.
I'm talking about this year.
So is Baker this year.
Okay, then.
Nah, man. Corbin's just a Baker hater.
Baker beat the Vikings. So Jordan Love, I'm saying, beats the Vikings. We're saying the same thing.
No,
you're just trying to say that Baker Mayfield's better than Jordan Love.
Better than Jordan Love.
It's not proven right now.
All right. Longest pass attempt in NFL history.
Bro is so much bias. It's wild. Okay, so you have the Lions, the Eagles, the 49ers, and the Cowboys.
The Rams, they're the best football team of all time.
I'm not taking that either.
Did you think the Rams would beat the Seahawks?
No, I didn't think the Seahawks would perform so bad offensively.
I think, are we talking about beat the 49ers or beat the Packers?
The Packers.
Would I take the Rams over the Packers? Probably not. That's a hard game to play. I think one team I actually really do like is the Commanders. They have the best all-around defensive line in football.
That's true.
They have good enough linebacker play. I think their secondary is a little bit underrated. Their offensive line is relatively solid. The X factor on that is Sam Howell, and we'll see what that turns into. But I think the Commanders could potentially beat the Packers.
I think that's crazy. I think the Packers are way too underrated this year.
You also said the Falcons have a top half defense in football, so.
I believe so. I believe that they'll finish this year with their defense in the top half overall of defenses.
They might.
I don't think that's outrageous to say.
They might, as long as
especially with our schedule.
As long as they play someone who has trash offensive line play, so they can get pressure on the quarterback, they'll be able to do that.
They do.
What do you mean? The Saints?
The Saints.
Saints got great offensive line play.
Not great.
Ryan Ramczyk? How dare you?
That's one guy.
Andreas Pete, the most overplayed player in football, and then you get to like Eric McCoy and the actual good players on the offensive line. Trevor Penning, who's like practice fight menace, gets kicked out of practice all the time.
So I don't know.
Yeah, Cowboys' best team performance. We really went off on a tangent.
Yeah, there. Cowboys' best team performance. I'd also, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I can put the Dolphins in there, but I have to. Just because defensively they didn't really do anything.
Yeah, it's like it's rough allowing 34 points, but if you did enough.
But I think their offensive performance makes me want to put them in there. That's the only thing.
Yeah, that's right. That's why we did say best offensive performance, right?
No. But then if I'm going to use an offensive performance, I also want to put in a defensive performance of like, I don't even know.
The Jets.
The Jets had a good defensive performance. The Saints had a good defensive performance.
The 49ers.
I mean, technically the Ravens did too, but it's like, You know? The Browns had a great defensive performance.
Oh, Lord, don't get me started. We could be here for
I was going to put the Browns in there, but I think with the weather,
it's so wishy-washy. And then also you're looking at Joe Burrow, who, missed out with a calf injury. I think that's something that's not being... So we were going to talk about next players to watch for next week. Joe Burrow would be mine.
Okay.
Joe Burrow is my big one.
Let's do 3 each.
3 each? Okay. So I'll go number 1, Joe Burrow. I think that calf is going to be a much bigger issue than people take credit for.
So you're saying watch him for him to repeat his bad performance?
Not necessarily to repeat. I don't think he will ever repeat that bad of a performance.
Right.
Because that's a mix of like the Browns have a new defensive coordinator who is being aggressive. They have amazing edge rushers, amazing interior rush, great linebacker play, at least for this game, and then also some of the worst weather. Like literally, it was raining at the stadium, and that's it. Like that's just unlucky. It was a weird weather phenomenon.
Were they playing in Cleveland or Cincinnati?
In Cleveland.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's never been like that before. It was weird.
It's just like a Cleveland thing to happen.
That would. It's on Lake Erie. But I think that Joe Burrow is great because he can move around in the pocket. The offensive line is not good. It never has been.
All right, sorry guys. Technical difficulties.
Thanks, Josiah.
My camera cut out, so we're just gonna hop right back into it. He said Joe Burrow.
Yeah, Joe Burrow's one. I think I hate to stay in the AFC North, but I think Kenny Pickett's another one.
Okay.
Going up against Cleveland, he's gonna have to deal with that same pass rush. Steelers' offensive line wasn't great last week against the Niners. Myles Garrett, Nick Bosa, 2 very good edge rushers. Followed that up with Za'Darius. So I think that'll be difficult. And another one is Zach Wilson. I want to see how Zach Wilson's going to perform. He controls the Jets season. So if he plays well, the Jets will do well. If he doesn't, it's kind of an unfortunate situation for them.
Fair. I am going to watch for CJ Stroud going against the Colts instead of the Jags. Or no, he went against the Ravens. Frick, my bad. I guess that matchup in general, Stroud versus Richardson, divisional game, both not great defenses. Houston, I think, has a better defense.
For sure.
But, we'll see who comes out on top there. I'm interested to see. Dang, this is tough.
There's a lot of interesting players.
There's a lot of interesting games as well. Goodness gracious. Oh, goodness. I want to see if Josh Allen can bounce back against Vegas.
Not a great defense.
can Josh Allen like not throw 3 interceptions?
Not make someone.
Can he not make 2 interceptions? That would be great.
Could Josh Allen
see if he can do it?
Go without a turnover in one game?
Yeah, for real.
Maybe.
And then I'm just excited to see. Huh?
Nothing.
I'm excited to see. Goodness gracious. I want everybody to watch Derek Carr against the Panthers. Okay? I want everyone to watch Derek Carr.
Because that's going to prove the Falcons are great.
No. The Panthers what? No, I want everyone to watch Derek Carr against the Panthers. I want to see him throw for 400 yards.
Are we putting a bet on that?
No bets. Derek Carr 400 yards against the Panthers.
Hit the prop. Derek Carr over.
Hit the Derek Carr over. It's gonna be like 250 probably.
J.C. Horn might not play.
That's all I'm saying. Watch out for Derek Carr. I think he's gonna have a great week. If you have him in fantasy, start him.
Wow, that's wild. Over Patrick Mahomes. Get him out of there. Get Derek Carr in.
Honestly, yeah.
Actually, Travis Kelce's back.
They're playing Jacksonville.
So?
I don't know.
They beat Jacksonville last time.
It's a good defense. The Panthers don't have a good defense.
Yeah, you're right. The Jacksonville defense got so much better from last year.
Well, you have to say that Jacksonville has a good defense. Jacksonville has a good
Guys,
defense.
that's going to be the end of this episode of the Eye Test Podcast. Thank y'all so much for watching. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, commenting down below. What's the name of our little dog friend here?
Yeah.
You could name him Brownie the Elf. Shout out Jamar Chase. Oh, Cleveland is Cleveland. We will see y'all next time. Peace out.